Okay,
can do
and
that.
that'll be on
At the end.
13, I guess.
Yeah.
And then
Okay, we're moving a couple of things.
we need to change anything on the agenda? Dr. Bermudez?
Yes, I think we need to move the closed session for the beginning of the meeting.
Okay, so we're going to move the closed session to the beginning of the meeting, which should be right after we adopt the agenda. Is that correct? Kathy?
Mr. Chair, I would like to move under tab E, under action items, letter D, carryover funds. From tab E to tab F, I believe that it is an informational item, the carryover funds, and not an action item.
Okay. All right, so,
And I think on the closed session, we want one before, and then we want one where it is on the agenda.
Dividing it.
okay, so we're
Dividing
actually dividing up so that it won't be this long session, right? And, but we won't be able to give, while we're in closed session, we won't be able to give out any ice cream or anything, but you're welcome to coffee. Right?
With-
Okay, so,
With those changes, I move we adopt the agenda.
Second.
is there any discussion as to the changing? All those in favor of the changes?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, the motion passes. Now, do we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
I move that we go into closed session for the purposes of discussing limited personnel and pending litigation.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and so that passes. Thank you, and please enjoy coffee or whatever. Hopefully we'll be right back.
Hopefully.
Okay, we're going to continue, and Martha Romero,
Yes.
you have a statement that you'd like to read?
First, we have to come out of.
Yeah,
We have to come out of closed
Oh, I'm
session.
sorry, let's come out of closed session.
now.
Move.
I move we come out of closed session and we only discuss limited personnel matters.
Second.
Okay, is it a vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. You know, Casey, there's a buzzing coming out here. Okay, thanks.
The board met in closed session and decided to continue or to honor the contract for the president as is, with a midterm. With a midterm evaluation in 6 months.
Thank you. All right. Okay, now we'd like to have the oath of office for our new governing board student ex officio. Sean? Is it Mikey? Nikki. Sorry.
You do. To say? It's right there. It should be right there.
Those of you who don't understand, I wasn't making any jokes about anyone. I was just saying God has many names. All right. The President's Awards and Presentations, President's Report, Dr. Guzman.
Thank you. This summer has been a very busy summer where we have been planning and working through for the HEC, which you heard. We also have gone through a reorganization, and I would like the three deans that are the new deans to please stand up. Thank you. And then we have also chosen chairs and lead faculty for all of the departments. There are many who were chairs before that now have additional responsibilities, and there are those who are new, so please, will the chairs and lead faculty please stand up? And then when I came here, I learned a new term which I had never heard of in my whole life. And that term was neither fish nor fowl, but it was staffalty. And so we worked with the staffalty, and we decided that they really deserved to be faculty. So will the staffalty who are faculty please stand up, please? And so throughout the summer, Randy Grissom, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, and myself have been working very, very hard. And I want you all to know that the deans who applied all were very competitive, and we could only choose 3 of you. And I was very proud to interview all of the chairs, and you were very competitive, and we are very proud. These chair positions are for 3 years, and every 3 years the faculty will choose whether they will continue to serve or there will be a new chair. That goes the same for the lead faculty. And so with this new team in place, and 4% increased enrollment as of today, I believe that Santa Fe Community College is well on its way to become one of the best community colleges in this nation, and I thank all of you for helping us do that. So thank you so much. And as we have done in the past 11 months, one of the vice presidents, it's Randy's turn this month, will present the update on one of the academic programs, which is the healthcare program.
Excuse me, before we do that, I wanted to mention something that I thought was really critical. Those of you who came to the convocation, I thought in all the years I was here at the community college, we never brought up the employees or had them stand up, and I thought that was really critical, and it made me feel as a board member, but as a former employee, very empowered to know who were the new people, who were the new folks. Even now, I think it's a really good thing, because it lets people see what changes are being made and how well they're being made. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. Guzman, really pleased today to give you a brief update on the healthcare programs. I'm going to turn it over to Jenny Landon. She's our new Dean for Health, Math, and Sciences, and we're going to just let you know a few things that are going on. A lot has happened over the last few months, and a lot more is about to happen. So I'm going to let Jenny take it over.
Thank you. It's a real honor to be here, and if I go, I was told to be quick, so if I go too quick, just let me know and I'll slow down. I just wanted to start off our little discussion with a picture from commencement in May, and you're looking at the nursing faculty there, getting ready to walk. So what's new? Well, we are now the School of Health, Math, and Sciences. I'm your new dean for that school. As I moved into that position, we got a new director of nursing education, and that's Carmen Angel. Carmen, will you stand? And I have to brag, Carmen was in our second graduating nursing class from SFCC.
And she's in the 30th anniversary film with
We have to
long
look.
hair.
We have to look for her.
Me too.
We got new neighbors in our building. We were excited that the math department joined us. So 6 of our offices are now filled that were empty. And then a total of our new faculty, we have Lisa Wolf, who joined us in nursing. She replaced Carmen Angel as the level 1 instructor. John Patano joined math, and he also had been a past faculty member years ago, so we're really glad to have him back. Tracy Roberts joined us in math. Stephen Gomez is joining us in science. We stole him from C&M. And Sahij Khalsa is going to be joining us in our EMSI department. Some highlights of collaborative efforts. Of course, these are not all the efforts that we have done, but just some of the highlights. We're very proud that last year with Rebecca Estrada in dual enrollment, we started the effort of taking a dual enrollment CNA course to the Santa Fe Indian School. I had the privilege of actually starting to teach that class until I realized it was a little bit too much being director of nursing and teaching. But I did it for about a month and I loved it. Then I handed it over to a very competent nursing faculty. That was 2 semesters ago, and we just finished off, and we're doing it again this fall. So it's a very popular course. At the same time, this summer and last summer, and I don't know, maybe even previous summers before, but we have collaborated with St. Vincent's high school program called the HEP program. Healthcare Exploration Program, and this is a way to reach out to teenagers across the city to try to get them interested in medical careers and interested in Christus. So it's a Christus-funded program, but they spend a lot of time here, as you will see in a minute. And then another highlight for us is our nursing department involvement in a statewide effort to bring the bachelor's degree in nursing to all community colleges. We were able to host the state meeting that occurs every other month, and we hosted it here in August. And we are hoping to bring the first class for that cohort around the spring of 2015, and maybe at the Higher Education Center. So we're very excited about that. So here are a couple of pictures of the high school students. They came to us from Capitol High, Santa Fe High, some of the private schools, some of the charter schools, and even as far as Pohake to do this. And this is them in one of our classrooms here learning how to take blood pressures on each other. This was the group. It was a big group and a very diverse group. And here they are with Heidi Weingart, our director from Medical Assisting and EMSI, and what she's doing is showing them what it's like to be a geriatric patient. So they have Vaseline on goggles, so they can't see. They have to use the crutches, and they're breathing through a straw. It was very powerful for them. Just a couple of other highlights. Nursing pinning, just to let you all know, this past year, we had, out of a possible 32 seats, we had 29 students that were able to graduate in May. We had our 5th accelerated cohort, our 5th summer of 8 graduates, and that is a full cohort. And then we are going to be taking in, I should tell you, 32 beginning students next week, and then 31 will graduate in December. So we're very excited. Yes?
Those of you who have not attended pinning, I attended it in May and I was crying. It's so powerful. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I never not cry at each one, and I've been going 4 years. A little bit about some of our other programs. These are some statistics about our respiratory program. You can see here back in 2010, we only had 4 graduates, and in May we had 10, and we had a late graduate in September, and our numbers are growing. If I could ask Rebecca, you're out here, aren't you? How many do we have starting next week? As of today, it changes every day. So we have a cohort of 13 that's going to be starting. Okay. And you can see the columns in terms of their credentialing and their placement. Oops, what happened to that one? Sorry about that. A little bit about our EMSI, our healthcare courses, our medical assisting and phlebotomy, always full. So I have students calling us all the time. We're very excited, but all the courses are full for this fall. You can see here we had, back in the spring, we had 16 paramedic graduates, and fall, we expect to have 2 cohorts, 36 students starting. And so we anticipate in the spring of 2014, we're going to bring on 2 more cohorts. Medical assisting, there's always a huge wait list for that. We've got 40 students enrolled in 2 different cohorts for this fall. We had 17 that graduated this summer. And then phlebotomy, we have, for the spring, we had 28 students, and we anticipate having 22 starting next week and then 20 in the spring. And then healthcare, our CNA program is, as ever, a course that's in high demand. We had in the spring, we graduated 36 students from that semester course. Summer, 16 students took it, and then in the fall, we've got 48 students taking it. And I don't know if that includes all of our dual enrollment courses. In addition to the Santa Fe Indian School, we're also starting a course at Capitol High School this fall. So we're very excited about that. Yes.
Isn't that also included in the iBest program
Yes.
for GED students?
I don't know if they're included in this data though.
I thought-
Oh, yeah, so right there on the spring, we had 21. That's right. So we had 21 students that were iBest. And looks like we're going to have 1 cohort this fall that is iBest of 20 total students. And then in the spring, we plan on having 2 cohorts and possibly maybe 2 iBest cohorts. So we're growing. Simulation update. If you have not had a chance to come visit our simulation center, I invite you to come over. We would love to give you a tour. I'd like for Ray Jetty to stand. We recently asked Ray to take on some extra duties as our simulation coordinator this summer, and he has not stopped running since. He's done a great job. Thanks, Ray. We also hired, with some grant money out of nursing for the summer, a technician who thought he was going to retire. And he came to work for us, Patrick Nichols, and he's just been amazing. And we're hoping that once his duties are done in terms of setting up everything for us, that he can remain with us part-time. There's been a lot of repair of simulators and improvements. We didn't realize it until Ray and Patrick started working, but a lot of our audio-video equipment was not working to the standard it should, and so now it is, and they've been hard at work. Because of all the improvements in our simulation center, we've started to try to do more collaboration with our partners, including Christus. Their nurse educator in the emergency department is bringing nurses over on Fridays that they are orienting to their emergency department. Some of them are our graduates, and they want to include our level 4 last semester students as a way of seeing if the emergency department might be a good place for them. So it's a really exciting collaboration that we're going to offer. Okay, yes, and then the other collaboration with Christus is Christus Corporate out of Texas actually got in touch with us through Ray and asked if they could come and bring 90 nurses and do some training here. And these would be nurses from our local St. Vincent's. Is that right, Ray? And but they would pay SFCC to allow them to do that. And it's really interesting. This first venture, they're supposed to be coming, and we're working with them. And we see this as a collaboration, but also a marketing opportunity, because they do want to pay us for the use of the simulation center. And what they're doing with this first group is they're actually trying to train nurses to use iPads in a clinical setting. So it's a really interesting concept. And then the other marketing opportunities that we're finding are ways to bring in revenue to the college. At the state nurses education meeting just a month ago, somebody approached, they approached Ray. It was a private nursing program in Albuquerque, very impressed with the tour that we gave them and wanted to see if they could work with us to bring their students up here. So we're very excited about the marketing and collaboration that's starting to happen.
And from this year on, any money that they make, they keep. It doesn't go in the black hole. Where it goes is in their budgets so that they can purchase the equipment and have the help that they need, given their entrepreneurial marketing.
Right, thank you. So we wanted to show you just a few slides of what's been happening in our simulation center. Why I picked this particular slide is it's showing you our ICU, I think this is ICU ER unit. It goes back and forth, ICU. And so you can see on the left, well, you can first see all the equipment around the patient in the bed, and there's a computer screen. This is the desk, the nurse's desk there where the students can actually come and do input. And by the way, that's the other thing that Christus is trying to work with us on. We had a group of like 10 physicians that came over for a tour, and they were really impressed, and now they're working with us in terms of continuing education for the physicians. And in return, offering us some startup training material, such as their Cerner software, which is what they use for all their computers and charting and whatnot, their electronic medical record keeping. So in exchange for sharing of resources, they want to actually improve what we have in the simulation centers. So we're really excited about that. And then you can see there on the screen, so the idea is what Ray has been doing in here is he's been making it possible so that we can actually videotape what's happening with the students, and then the students can see it on the screen and talk about it and debrief. So we have that up and running. This is just another angle. You can see that we've got more than one bed at a time. And then we have that control room where we can actually have this. We have got 2 faculty members there. That's Carmen Angel and Susan Winder. And actually Ginger Roger is out there, our lab coordinator, and she's working with a group of level 4 students around a patient. And so what Ray has been working on is to be able to do 3 simulations at the same time to increase the amount of time that we can utilize the Sim Center. So we're very proud of all the work that Ray and Rebecca and Patrick have been doing this summer, along with Ginger. So going forward, really quickly, we're rebuilding our EMSI program. With the hiring of our second EMSI faculty, we are looking towards, at some point, offering the paramedic courses again. We're going to have 2 new faculty that have committed, have signed to come join us in the spring. Dr. Leonard Gantz is going to be our science chair, and Nancy Novak is going to be our new nursing faculty. And Nancy, we're actually getting her, she's an associate dean of the Tacoma Community College nursing program, and she wants to come back into teaching. So she comes to us with a lot of experience, so we're very excited to have her. We're going to be exploring the idea of adding to some of our programs, the dental hygiene program, so we're going to be looking at that. We've already started a discussion with Dr. Guzman about exploring part-time nursing track for people who work full-time and want to become RNs but cannot give up their full-time jobs. Right now, we're very busy in the nursing department getting ready for our site visit. They're going to be coming from the national office September 23rd and 24th, and we're hopeful. We just finished our self-study report, 175 odd pages, and we had a consultant here the last 2 days, and it looks very positive for us to get a good report at the end of the visit. And then, of course, we have already talked about expanding the use of the simulation center. We're very optimistic about where we've started this summer, and we look towards possibly getting it certified as a center of excellence very soon, in the next few years, hopefully. And I think that's it. Thank you. Okay. You want to add something?
I want to thank Chris, Media Services, and Dawn from Plant, and Rebecca from Respiratory, Ginger from Nursing, and this team came together to pull this thing off. So I just thought it was a great team effort.
So currently, with the faculty that we have, we're able to take 32 students twice a year and 8 accelerated students every summer. So we have 2 accelerated cohorts any summer, 16 students. I might also add that recently there's been some data coming out of UNM, and at some point when I get the blessing, I'd like to bring it back to the board and share it with you. But I think you'll be impressed that when you see, they did a statewide survey and looked at all the nursing programs, just to get an idea of what was happening. And there's a slide that Santa Fe Community College has the second largest number of nursing students any given semester, approximately, second to CNM. But we have the smallest full-time faculty. It's amazing what we can do here with all the support. But we could do more if we had more full-time faculty. And so I really thank Dr. Guzman for, we're getting an extra faculty this year, which is great. And I think we're headed in that right direction.
And then for respiratory therapy, what's the max on that, or what's the ideal number? And your staffing? Do you have enough staffing for 18 to 20?
Yes, with adjuncts, we have according to our accreditation, we have 2 full-time, and Ray and myself. Ray is the director of education and he's the director. We do almost all of the active teaching and no laboratory teaching, and then some of the clinical teaching, but we also have adjuncts. We are limited in our clinicals at a ratio of 5 to 1, so we try and do that with mentors as well.
And then the EMS program that I guess we're trying to get our accreditation back.
So what we did is we let our current accreditation go, and we're affiliating with the ENMU Roswell for both the EMS program and for the American Heart Association program. And we're going to do some more exploration and try to see whether we should get it back. We think that it will be our goal is to get it back and be our own provider, but we're still able to offer all the courses we want. We actually saved some money by letting our accreditation go at this time.
But then do we have to pay New Mexico's, who is it?
ENMU Roswell, yes. We pay them a fee per student, yes.
It was a choice that we made, and the choice we made because it would save us money, and it would allow for the faculty to see if the needs existed and how to expand the program, because we had lost one faculty, and then use the university's program and then regroup. So we did not lose the accreditation, we just chose not to update it.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens. But the goal is to try to get it back.
Yes, we'd like to become our own training center again at some
I
point.
know some fire chiefs have talked to me.
Yes.
They're very disappointed. And then just one more question. The Capitol High program, so is, now at one point, we were using Eastern New Mexico University for that, credit for that class or something? Or we, because that's a dual credit course?
Right.
or-
It's a dual credit course, but right now what we're doing is the CNA program there, and so that's not part of the EMS thing. And I think we at one time we do some of the American Heart Association classes, but they actually usually come to the college for those, and so those are affiliated through ENMU Roswell now, and it's to get their card.
So we can't do that ourselves?
We could if we wanted to, but it made more sense for us at this point in time to do that. We were affiliated with Las Cruces before. We have not been our own AHA center. I don't think ever at this point in time. But that's in our plan, is to look at doing both of those, and we want to be the provider of choice for our regionals people. And that's the goal we're going to get to. We felt like right now the best way to do it is to affiliate with somebody else. We had to get a few things cleaned up that hadn't happened in the right way, and the best way to do it is really to start over.
So that might be within a year we'll be doing that ourselves?
Yes, we will be. Well, hopefully we'll be making a decision by the end of this academic year as to whether we're ready to go forward now or whether we want to wait another year.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to Dr. Guzman, President Employee of the Month.
Yes, sir. Yash? This is the pass it forward.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to present Dr. Bernadette Jacobs. She's the chair of Social Science and Humanities. She has over 18 and a half years of teaching experience and has won a number of awards. Bernadette has been very active in program review process as well as assessment planning. She's presenting her work this fall at a psychology teacher conference. And she's always very active, very busy advisors whom students in social science programs regularly seek her advice. And I can't think of a better faculty member to pass this award forward.
That's right, because we haven't had it.
So, here. So it's my pleasure to pass it forward to Robert Shanken. I want you to know that Robert Shanken is making a real difference at SFCC. He's been math faculty here for 13 years, but in addition to being math faculty, he has served as our Phi Theta Kappa advisor, and in doing so, he's really helped to recognize the academic achievement of many of our students. This is so important. He was recently part of a team that instituted a math preparation workshop here for students preparing to take their course, their math placement evaluation. And as I'm sure you can appreciate, so many of our students have great anxiety around math evaluation. So Robert has really served actively to help address that and help them be more successful in this evaluation process. I want you to know that Robert treats his students with deep, deep respect. On countless occasions, I have walked by his office and I've seen him working with students very patiently on an individual basis, helping them with math problems. And I've noticed this for 7 years that we have been in the same suite. And it wasn't until Robert recently moved out that I noticed he was gone. And so I thought, as I make one particular turn in the suite, I always see him there working with students. Well, he's not there because he's left the suite. And it just clicked. It was very interesting realization for me. Lastly, I want you to know that the small town that this is, I was at a wedding reception Saturday night, and I happened to be seated at a table, of course, with one of our current students, and we started talking about the community college, and he turned to me and he said, you know, Robert Shanken rocks. and I couldn't agree more.
Yay! No, it's the Wallgram. It's the Wallgram.
As you may recall, the Wallgram is for people who do work above and beyond the call of duty. So Patty, who works in my office, if you recall back at the end of last semester, the spring semester, we were going through the HEC construction projects, the solar construction projects, and all, we did RFPs, RFQs, we had all these things, the SPOR vendors to coordinate. And Patty graciously worked through all of that and made sure that all those projects came in on time and appropriately. You've already saw the presentation for the HEC earlier. And so Patty would stay often after hours to get all this done. So I put her forward for this award and she won it.
I'm a wowster.
Well, I might just say a little something. I'm from Santa Fe. My maiden name is Montes, and I have a long history with the college. I think I took my first algebra class here at the college, but we were at the Valdez Industrial Park in 1984. I had taken a job with the city of Santa Fe, and I was in the graphics department and planning. And I said, you know, I need to brush up on those skills. And I was taking the class at Valdez Industrial Park in spring of 1984. Went on to, start my own business, and left my business about 3 years ago to take a job here. Entered in the temporary ranks. They picked me up full time, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's because my business background has just really been instrumental in all the things that I do, but on the other end. So it's been really rewarding to work with all staff and faculty to get all their purchases done, and boy, we're doing a lot of purchasing on campus. So I'm learning a lot, and I'd like to keep the ball rolling, and I'd like to improve the processes, and Bob's been great. I've learned so much from him, so I just thank you for being there. Thank you for nominating me.
I'm not Barbara Mascareñas, in case you didn't know. She's no longer with us, so she left, before I came, she was gone by the time I came. So I'm not sure how this WOW-gram works, or how Ernest got selected by Barbara, or nominated by Barbara, but he's certainly worthy of receiving this award. What he does with students is amazing. And I think all of you have seen that here. And we use those student ambassadors for many different things throughout the college. And he's now doing a leadership course, which I think is wonderful. So, congratulations.
I'm going to save my comments for the other part. Okay. This is the first time you'll ever hear me not say it.
And Ernest, how many more ambassadors are you going to have this year?
We're going to have 35 thanks to you, Linda, the board, and the folks that have supported us. We're just about there at the 35.
There you go.
And they got here 2 weeks ago for a 2-day retreat. So they spend 16 hours of training. They'll be here on Friday to get ready for Welcome Week, for 2 weeks of solid work to really welcome our students and be prepared for our 7,000 plus or 6,000 students. So we're excited. We're pumped. You guys are awesome. So thank you for coming.
You know, I want to say a couple words about. When I was faculty representative for Phi Theta Kappa, we had an induction ceremony where the students could come up and say thank you for somebody who helped make this moment possible for them. And the most frequent name that came up was Ernest. And students didn't talk about just a particular thing that he helped them with, but about finding themselves. So thank you, Ernest.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Dr. Guzman. Now, Donna, do we have any public comments? Okay, if you could call them off, please. And to remind, this is 3 minutes? 3 minutes.
Mr. Chair, Madam President, members of the board. My name is Anthony Apodaca, and I've been an employee here for a little bit over 5 years with the Safety and Security Department. And first off, I am glad to hear that Dr. Guzman's contract will be held up. She has been nothing but great. I interact with a lot of students, staff, and faculty, and never once have I had a student come to me and complain or have any concerns about Dr. Guzman. And a lot of the students seem enthused with the direction the college is going. And every time Dr. Guzman sees myself or any other staff from the security office, she makes it a point to tell us hi, to check on us, to see how we are doing. And she makes me feel appreciated and important here at the Santa Fe Community College. And I work the evening shift, and I'm here late night, and I see Dr. Guzman here leaving 7, 8 o'clock at night with her staff working, compassionate and passionate about the college. And I just want to thank Dr. Guzman and applaud her for all that. And thank you for keeping her contract, and keep up the good work, Dr. Guzman.
Okay, I'm going to get right to it. Thank you, President Guzman, for meeting with me to discuss issues of sustainability at SFCC. I hope we can work together in support of common goals regarding zero waste. The college's image to many sustainability-minded students was projected as that of a progressive school grounded in the idea that we, humanity, can prevent our current path of environmental destruction by adopting sustainable practices now. Further, we believed that the campus administration had come to the understanding that these practices make sense and a practical framework in that sustainable campuses save money. SFCC has lived up to its goals in many ways, but can improve to be a prototype of sustainability and a full circle system of zero waste, as referenced by the board's zero waste resolution in 2011. After talking to my fellow students, other community members, and being asked by President Guzman to create an implementation plan, I am asking the governing board and president to move forward on the following. Please vote, I am requesting that the board and president discuss a resolution at the next SFCC board meeting in September to, 1, help submit a 5-year implementation plan for zero waste this semester to be submitted to the board, defining roles by all departments and students in order to achieve zero waste, starting with the plastic bottle ban. This will add security to the faculty, staff, and students that plan their future, hoping that SFCC remain true to its commitments towards sustainability and zero waste. 2, establish zero waste policy from the top down, with the president taking a role of leadership. Start this semester, fall of 2013, with stopping the sale of plastic bottled water. There's a plastic water bottle ban attached to the handout I'm going to give you, and I'd appreciate it if you could look at it. Help with the elimination of plastic bottled drinks. Please vote to add the plastic water bottle ban addendum to the plastic water bottle ban to include all plastic bottle drinks that can be replaced by aluminum cans, glass, compostable cups, or reusable bottles. Start a campus-wide waste audit. Please plan to buy or buy sortable waste stations. 3, invest in campus community awareness program. Invest in a campus community awareness campaign that helps adversarial groups understand sustainable concepts and alternatives, such as reusable bottles and coffee mugs, explaining the sortable waste stations, campus composting, biofuels, and zero waste effort. Short term this semester, explain the plastic bottle ban and alternatives, such as reusable bottle giveaways, available so that choice of beverage is not limited, but more environmentally friendly. Commit resources to the employment of competent staff that can carry out these critical campus operational practices. Why is the SFCC Sustainable Coordinator a temp? Define who or what department is in charge of the zero waste program. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, Madam President, thank you for allowing me to speak today. Briefly, I just wanted to say thank you specifically to Dr. Guzman. I am recently in a new position now, the safety officer for the Santa Fe Community College. And prior to that, I was a supervisor for security. I found in my personal experiences where Dr. Guzman to be extremely supportive of our department. In years past, we've had challenges with staff, ensuring we had adequate staff to ensure that the students, staff, and faculty had a safe learning environment. I feel this is as strong as it's ever been. And I feel that's in part because of the importance Dr. Guzman has led us to believe that we can operate accordingly and with the safety and welfare of the students, staff, and faculty here on the campus grounds. So thank you, Dr. Guzman. I look forward to working with you. We want to make this the best place we can for our students. And thank you again.
Good evening. I had this all planned and now my mind is totally blank. I just wanted to share with everyone that I just completed my first year here. And it has been the most challenging and rewarding year of my career. And I want to thank Dr. Guzman and Bob and everyone at the community college who has really made the successes at Kids Campus possible. We have 100 children enrolled for the fall semester. We have a professional staff of 12 early childhood professionals on board as teachers at Kids Campus. We are on a path that will lead to a balanced budget at the end of the year. And it is greatly, greatly due to Dr. Guzman and Bob. I was certainly pushed and challenged, and it was great to have that level of excitement, and it's been great, and I'm very much looking forward to the next year. Next time I'll bring notes. Thank you.
Chair, Madam President, members of the board. I was a little disturbed with some of the newspaper articles that I read, and part of it bothered me is because we have a new president, and with a new president, there's always going to be change. And I think everybody in this room understands that. I came from New Mexico State University. I worked with 8 presidents there. Every single president came in and made changes, many of them drastic. Some of them were changes that were made where they announced on their equivalent to our Jack, it was called Hotmail there, or Hotline. And so people found out that they were moved positions by reading the email. And so I think that what Dr. Guzman has done here is she's really communicated why she's making these changes. She's met with the staff, with the faculty, to talk about that. The other thing that sort of bothered me was they said 47 people left. Well, there was a retirement incentive. There were at least half a dozen retirement incentives while I was at New Mexico State University. My husband retired with one. He retired about 5 years before me. I retired under a retirement incentive, and there were about 100 people or more that retired when I did. So that's a very common practice. And I think that President Guzman has come in and she's pointed out, she's placed a clear vision of where she wants to see this institution go. And I think she's communicated it very, very clearly. And I don't know, but I think what happened in this past year has been pretty amazing. Like I said, I've worked for many presidents, and I've not seen that much progress in 1 year. But I think the other thing that has happened is most of the presidents, well, all of the presidents that I worked with had been provosts or vice presidents before they came. So they had to learn how to be a president. So they spent some time learning how to be a president. President Guzman came in knowing how to be a president, knowing what a community college should look like. So I think the accomplishments have been tremendous this year, and I applaud you for that. A lot of the ideas you brought and a lot of things that we promoted. And it's for that reason that I applied for the position. I would not have applied for the position if I didn't think this was an institution going somewhere. So thank you.
Ooh, it's hot back there. Buenas tardes. Good evening. My name's Ernest Kavanaugh, and I've been here, I'm starting my 16th year at Santa Fe Community College. I'm a graduate. I'm your alumni. I'm someone that you all created and molded from your own backyard. So when we think about it, why would I be here? Why would I want to come and talk to you all when I could be with my grandkids and then pulling my hair? One is because this young lady, Dr. Guzman, any of you on the hiring committee, anybody in here, would you raise your hand? Remember when we were there doing this? Was it easy? No. Now, I want you to watch this board for a second. How many folks here believe leadership at this capacity can be challenging? Raise your hand. I just want you to look at that just for a second. Okay? I teach leadership to our students, and they are not shy about challenging the process. I'm gonna with this small little book that I use, there's 5 models. Model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, and encourage the heart. Those are 5 very simple models. What this young lady's done, what we asked her to do as a committee, well, I'm 52, so I'm going to stay right in there. One of the things that you did is you said when you sat here is that we asked you to take us to the next level. Now, was that going to be easy? You have really looked at the vision and put that challenge to task. Now, there's times that I'm like, really? So you're really going to do this? There was times like I was like, I don't know. But with leadership, you got to be able to learn how to challenge a process. And you got to lead by example, by modeling the way. So what you did is you encouraged the heart for many of us to look deep and start making things happen. Do we see some of our peers leave? Yes, we did. Was it hard? Yes, it was. But the fact is you're taking us to that next level. My students, in my leadership, when you guys decided to take us another 10 students up, I went from a 3.2 to 3.12 overall GPA in terms of my team. These are students that are not your typical select, let me pick the best. 15 to 65-year-old students working together to make a better community. What you've done for us in this institution is made a better community. Internal, external. Dr. Gonzalez is my immediate out of our department. What you funneled, you must be modeling, because then she does the same thing. And it's a ripple effect. The ripple effect, what the board does, you model for us out in the community. I am proud of what you do, because we look at you and we have to recognize, are you doing the job or not? And yes, you are. So in closing, what I like to say, and this is the hardest 3 minutes for me in my life, let me tell you, is you stay doing what you're doing. Don't worry about the rest. Let us hit the grindstone, go to work. For those of us that are in the work and doing what we should be doing, that's what makes the difference. So keep us going. Don't worry about a thing. They'll support you. And we'll support you. And there's challenges. Let me tell you, you got some back over here. But I believe if we work together, seriously, as adults, what a concept. We could be the best community college this country has ever seen. So thank you for what you're doing.
Board Chair, Dr. Guzman. I've been a student here for 4 semesters. I am honored that you came as the new president. You have made good changes for the students and for our community, because I have 2 sons, one at UNM and one that is 17 years old at Monte del Sol, and I believe we need the best community college here in Santa Fe for our young students. And I am proud for what you have done and what you have achieved. It's not easy coming in, into how can I say, into something that everybody was used to. And you have made wonderful changes, and I'm very proud that you are our president of Santa Fe Community College, Dr. Guzman.
Gracias.
Hello. I'm Maria Santa Maria, and I'm a faculty member, and I've been here 14 years. And it's been an honor and a privilege to have been here this long. And I hope to be here many more years, as long as my brain keeps working. But I'm here to speak in support of Dr. Guzman. This is a president who has had more meetings with students, faculty, and staff in 11 months than any other president in their complete terms. So talk about opportunities for input. We really have had them. I wasn't able to attend them all, but the opportunities have clearly been there. This is a president, and the only president, to my knowledge, for as long as I've been here, who met with every academic department in the entire college. I never heard of a president doing that. I've never seen a president do that here. This is a president who reviewed with Carla every single faculty contract in the entire college to ensure there was equity in compensation and that we had a fair system in place. That's huge for those of us who are faculty who have contracts here. This is a president who has organized systems to facilitate student success by bringing Dr. Gonzalez to us. And by reorchestrating the processes in enrollment and doing a zillion things to make that process for student enrollment, for student success, this is the only president that has been so much in our faces about how the funding works. And she keeps educating us, faculty, because, you know, after you've been here a while, you keep doing the same old thing, and we need to be reminded of these things. We need to be reminded of how the funding really works. And we need to be reminded of how we can facilitate that to continue to help our institution be financially sound. This is a president who has cut administrative costs to put the money into instruction. That's where it belongs, because instruction is the heart of what we're all about, in one way or the other. We are here because of our students. We are here because we believe in education. We are here hopefully because to be a good teacher, you have to be a good learner. And so I hope I'm continually growing, and I hope all of us choose to continually grow. I've heard a couple of comments, and I know our time is limited, so I will only share a couple of comments from wonderful colleagues. One of my colleagues who works in the area of finance said to me, I had 4 major financial concerns when she came here, and she has addressed every single one of the 4. Another wonderful, respected colleague of mine, after attending one of Dr. Guzman's first addresses to us as a college and a faculty, we were walking out of that meeting, and she said to me, you know, I have been here for many years, and this is the first time that I go to hear the president speak, and that I am full of hope for this college and for us. And that's huge. That's huge. So the bottom line is, I hope that we can all stay focused on student success, because that's what we are all about. We should make that our priority. Everything else should be secondary. And honestly, we have more positive indicators and outcome measures of student success than ever before in the history of this place. So we should be really happy about what's happening at this college. And it is a joy to work here. It is a joy to work here because of each other and because of the students whom we serve and whom we launch into their careers and to fulfill their dreams. So I guess my hope for all of us is that all of us, faculty, staff, the board, we can commit to making a conscious decision to stay focused on student success and to commit ourselves to do the very best that we can in doing our work and in supporting Dr. Guzman in the worthy goals that she has stated for us. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Chairman Abeta, members of the board, Dr. Guzman. I'm here to also voice my support for the president, and in lieu of the events and the articles that have been written, I would like for everyone to take into perspective my account of working with her. I feel I am a product of the Santa Fe Community College. I received my degree here in 2005, so I take a lot of pride and personal investment in the future of this college. I began working for Dr. Guzman 10.5 months ago. I work closely with her as I sit right outside of her office. Every day I've witnessed employees, faculty, community members, and students who meet with her. In the 10.5 months working with her, I've never seen her or heard her yell at anyone. People may not agree with what she says, but I've never witnessed her mistreat anybody. What I do see is people walking out with more clarity, understanding, and direction. I see an appreciation of her experience and her guidance. What she has done is she has set the bar to a higher standard than people have been used to. Raising expectations is not a bad thing. I see it as moving this college forward, which is well overdue. Without this, the students won't succeed. She truly epitomizes professionalism with a joyful passion for our students' success in an uncompromising fashion. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Madam President, members of the board. My name is Dr. Boris Kostaget. I'm the Director of the Teacher Education Department here at Santa Fe Community College. The last time I sat in front of people was defending my dissertation. So obviously this is not a dissertation and we gotta be quick. So I'll get to the point. I'm here to support Dr. Guzman for her implementation of strategic planning and throughout Santa Fe Community College. I was one of those faculties that was hired as staff as a director. My passion is teaching. I lived here in Santa Fe and I taught second grade here. I taught some of your grandchildren, some of your children maybe. When I got my PhD, I declined other foreign institutions to come work here to help our community. And as I got here, I started working as a director, directing the program. However, since my passion was teaching, I decided to go ahead and continue to become staff faculty. I was one of the staff members that was moved into teaching without compensation. And that's okay. Because if your passion is teaching, you shouldn't be compensated. I was the one that was reduced with budget in my department and I had to do more work. And I was okay with that because we're a community and we need to be able to stick together. With all those, our department was able to grow. Our department has increased enrollment with that. Other things is Dr. Guzman allowed us to create a new position or increase a position for a faculty member in there. We have an alternative licensure program that are very competitive at foreign institutions and are very envious of our enrollment in there and would like to take over that program. So with that, the president has empowered me to become a great leader as an administration. She's also teaching a course for our department. That takes a lot for a president to come down and be able to teach with the students to get to know them. Our faculty members are very impressed and very looking forward to her teaching. She's now assisting me in growing our department, growing every department here in institution. But growth has different definitions. Our growth that we're having is with passion. We're starting the first Native American certificate with public education department in language. And we're preparing that. And that's one of the things that only one institution has it, and that's at the Dene College. That's growth with passion. And that's something that Dr. Guzman has been emphasized, and she's working with me, along with my new dean, Patricia Finn. She has also established something that has been very difficult throughout higher institutions and public schools, is the collaboration and communication with the districts. School districts always have a separations within higher institutions, and she's able to work and communicate with Superintendent Boyd. That has been a big, does that mean the time's almost up? All right, moving on. We also have relocated our department to be part of our institution. So we're no longer in Kid Campus, we're part of the main campus, and we're able to demonstrate, see, and be able to collaborate with other departments in our institution. With that, we've seen increases of enrollment, increase of graduation rate, increase of retention, and also, very important for me, is increase of minority faculty rate coming into the positions here. With that, I thank you, and I encourage you, and I support you to continue and I'm glad to hear they extended it. Thank you. Thank you.
okay now. So I've been here for 8 years as the manager of the payroll department, and I've come to speak in support of Dr. Guzman and her the changes that she's making for the community college. I believe we're moving in the right direction. A lot of the changes are positive, even though sometimes change can be difficult, but I think change is good. One thing that really impressed me a lot when Dr. Guzman came on board was she came to the payroll department, to my office, and asked for different kinds of information that she was gathering in order to substantiate whatever decisions she might be making. And that's never happened in my time here. So I think that's a positive thing. So anyway, and I want to thank you too for continuing her contract. So thank you very much.
Good evening. Mr. Chair, Madam President, members of the board, my name's Pierre Gutierrez. I was here a few months ago presenting about the Center for Academic Transition. I'm still the coordinator, thankfully. I've been a part-time resident of Santa Fe for over 11 years, and I'd always wanted to make that permanent. And I worked at UNM previously and the University of Connecticut before that. And when I got back to New Mexico, going to UNM was really exciting for me. And then I heard around September that they were getting a new president at the Santa Fe Community College. And Santa Fe is a small place, and nobody really knew what Dr. Guzman was going to do, but there was chatter that something big was going to happen. And I don't think that she disappointed us. I think that many great changes have come, and I started applying for jobs here because I wanted to work under her leadership. Even knowing that there was this glimmer of, there may be something big, there may not, but it did seem very hopeful for me. And I chose to apply for this position, and I had applied for previous positions in the months leading to this one opening up. And the closer it got to this position, actually for them to offer me the position, the more excited I became because the more impact she was starting to have in such a short amount of time. And I would ask community members, and I would ask people who worked here, and it was just hopeful that the focus was on students. And without students, none of us have a job, right? And I think that Dr. Guzman really has placed an emphasis on student success, which is what I have committed my career to. I got into this profession wanting to help students, and especially wanting to help underrepresented groups of students. And I think that that is a priority of hers. And I'm very, very happy to be working for her. And I think that the Center for Academic Transitions is an amazing, amazing office. And not just because I work there, but it's an amazing idea that she brought with her. And we've been able to do amazing things. And the graduation numbers are really showing the impact that she's had here and the impact that her leadership has had on the community college and the staff and the faculty in terms of leading us toward a common goal. And I just want to thank you for letting me share my comments, and thank you for extending her contract. I am very happy to stay here under her leadership.
I'm Vaughn Hegman. I thank you for letting me address you tonight. I direct the Office of Disability Services here on campus, and I've done that since September of 2009. I think one of the things that compelled me to want to speak tonight had to do with the newspaper articles. And one of the reasons, newspaper articles and the fact that I've been a member of Staff Senate for the past 2.5 years, and I'm not saying anything nobody doesn't already know, I did not vote in favor of that letter that was presented to Dr. Guzman. In my dealings with people, students, and everybody, I try to consider for myself what is the most fair and reasonable way to act in this situation. And one of the reasons I wanted to say something is I'm not convinced that Dr. Guzman has been treated fairly by some people on campus. And that's my opinion, and I know, Yash, I can't measure it, so that's just my opinion. But I wanted to remind folks that there are a few things that have, Dr. Guzman came to us at a time when we really had some problems. And for us to expect her in 11 months to fix problems that she didn't even have a hand in creating, I think is not fair and it's not reasonable. Just to remind folks, we have a systems appraisal feedback report that came to us from the Higher Learning Commission in September of 2011. We had 125 opportunities for improvement. 10 of those were significant, needed significant improvement, and none of this happened while she was here. And so first of all, just even prioritizing what's in here and what needs to be worked on is a monumental job in and of itself. Top on things that came up repeatedly were communication, decision-making, stakeholder input. And those are things that came up repeatedly in letters to the president, that there was the expectation that that would happen. And we do hope that will happen, but just a reminder that we didn't have it before, and we didn't have it to the degree that other people are expecting it. And even, requests for the Noel Levitt survey. We have our Noel Levitt survey of employee satisfaction. It wasn't great before Dr. Guzman got here. To expect that to change in 11 months is, in my opinion, isn't fair or reasonable. Things that came out in the letter, like, we want to see the data on choosing to do 4-day weeks. I can tell you from my notes from my director's meeting on February 20th of this year that it came to us in a director's meeting. Please go to your staff, ask them what they think about the possibility of a 4-day week, and bring it back to us. So I did. I went to my staff. They said, "Oh, that sounds great." So brought it back to my supervisor, who I'm assuming brought that to executive council. So it's things like that where there have been, statements and kind of like rumors that I think, where is this coming from? I've got notes right here. I went to my staff. It's in our staff minutes that we discussed this, and that it went back to our supervisor to go back to executive council. So it's just things, things like that that just don't sit right with me. And I'd like to say, I know that it's come back to us that the board has received complaints and things like that, but if you only receive complaints, and if that's all that you're listening to, then you believe that everything is wrong. What I'd like to say is, nobody has talked to me or my staff and said, "Gee, we haven't received a complaint for you. Does that mean you're happy?" Because we quite frankly would have said yes. I like the direction we're going in. I like Dr. Guzman's vision. Do I agree with her methods all the time? No. Do I need to? No. Do I have an expectation that I will be included in all of her decision making? Absolutely not. I didn't apply for this job. I didn't want her job because, quite frankly, I don't want to deal with some of those things. I serve 200, yes, I serve 212 students. That's why I'm here. Our students with disabilities is the reason I'm here, not to do Dr. Guzman's job. So I just wanted to say we trusted you all, and we continue to trust you in those presidential forums and in choosing who you thought would be the best person to work for our community. And I wanted to share with you two things from the presidential forums, and these were from my notes from Dr. Guzman's forum, and I just jotted words. I wrote depth, maturity, engaging, experience, and sense of humor. And I think if we give her a chance, we will see all of those things.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam President, and board members. I was also disconcerted about some of the articles that have come out about President Guzman, because I think the articles have been written from an unfair point of view. They don't show the entire scope of what's happened on this campus. And that's a bad reflection on all of us here on campus. And when you take a convocation that was as uplifting with as many cheering faces and good feelings that we had this semester, and that gets turned into a very negative newspaper article, I think that's a very, very sad thing. I would hope that the board in the future, if there's going to be a reporter that comes on campus to something like that, would make sure that whatever is written fairly, so that both sides are told and not just a negative point of view, because it is a bad reflection on all of us. There's a great silent majority here on campus, and I think you're seeing some people speak out tonight that have been silent before. I have to say that I've been on campus since 2001 as adjunct, and then I was a chair for 5 years. When Dr. Guzman first came on campus, she was speaking in the upper classroom that we all know so well, where they have the astronomy classes. And I went up to her afterwards, because I was chair of the Chairs Council at that point, and I approached her to ask if she would be open to speaking with the chairs and working with us. And she was so gracious and so welcoming and so excited about talking to the chairs. And that started a year-long relationship with her that I was able to have. And during that time, and I was a chair for 5 years, during that time, I was also a member of Faculty Senate and an officer. I did hear a lot of things going on campus, various comments. People would come to me and talk to me. So as I would sit in meetings, I would listen to the comments, and they'd be in the back of my mind. And I'm a skeptic because I went to law school. It turns you into a giant skeptic. So, I was very, very skeptical. And so I would listen and I would watch and I would think, well, that doesn't match up. What I'm seeing and hearing myself doesn't match up with what I'm being told. And that went on for quite some time. And I have come to have a great deal of respect for Dr. Guzman. She has been a mentor to me, and I'm speaking from the point of view when I was a chair, not as a new dean. She's been a mentor. She has never, ever snubbed me when I needed to talk to her. I catch her in between meetings in the hall, and she always talks to me, and it's always something that's very important to me, because it's important to my faculty and my students. And she listens, and not only does she listen, but she gives me good ideas and good feedback, and she helps us achieve what we need to achieve. One of the things we were missing on campus, and as far as I was concerned in my areas, was that we were not being allowed to grow. We were told we couldn't have more classes. We couldn't go out in the community. We needed to sit behind our desks. We need to be very static. Well, this is a new wave on campus. We can grow programs. We can get out in the community. We can make connections with law enforcement. We can grow criminal justice. We can grow legal studies. We can, it's just amazing to have that freedom. So I just wanted to thank you for that, and thank you for the mentorship and the opportunity to be one of the new deans. Thank you.
Have a new name. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. And again, there's been so much that has been said that I should probably not even speak, but I'm going to anyway, because I think that that there probably are a few different perspectives that would be helpful for you to know. I started working in higher education because I wanted to help students. And I've worked at both 4-year colleges and 2-year colleges. And I fell in love with the community college because the opportunity to make a difference for a student, you see that every single day. And one of the things that I think has happened with Dr. Guzman, she came in with a very clear focus and a very clear vision. And it has always been about serving students and about how we can best go about doing that. And I know when she met with us, She had us doing a few things that we hadn't been doing before, but she also supported some of the things that we had been doing. And the amount of support, the visibility that we got as a result of her assistance and making student success much more of a priority and more visible was remarkable. And it was something that I think the students really needed. And I think that the sense of urgency about helping students succeed is probably one of the best things that Dr. Guzman has brought, because our students need our help, and that we need to be effective. We need to use our money wisely. We need to organize in a different way. And I have to say, Dr. Guzman has asked us to reorganize. That I lost an advisor position. I gave up an advisor position to start the Center for Academic Transitions for that coordinator position. And we have been fine. And we are working smarter, we're working more collaboratively together, and there is more helping each other across the departments. And I think that's a really good thing, and I think that's important for students to see and for the college. And I think that we will become a national model. We took a group to Palo Alto College, and I was so struck by all of the things that the people had to say about Dr. Guzman's leadership and about students there. It was quite impressive. One of the things that I try to do when I look at things is to figure out is there something good that has come out of things that happen that you see as bad. And it's kind of like the unanswered prayers. And so, like, I read those articles and I was like, it was upsetting, and I've been concerned about like different factions of the college and how people were not all together, but there's a lot of people that are together. And so I think the good thing that has come out of that article is that there are many of us who you typically do not hear from, who felt compelled to come and lend our support, so that you're hearing things from other individuals. So I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for letting me come and speak in front of you. I speak in support of Dr. Guzman. My name is Linda Tubles. I am currently the Office Administrator for the Office of the President. I've been employed here at the Santa Fe Community College for 3 years. I came to the college not for a career advancement, but to continue my education. I started as a work study 5 years ago in the financial aid department. After a few months, I took a position with the Office of Finance and Administration. I have proven to be an honest and dependable employee, which in turn offered me the opportunity to work as a temporary employee assisting the Vice President for Finance and Administration. President Cha Guzman represents change, and it is human nature for people to resist change. It has been my experience that when a new CEO takes charge of a troubled company, they experience obstacles in their efforts to change the company's direction. These obstacles come not from outside forces, but from within the company itself. The past administration promoted a climate that students are a burden and below the employees. They had forgotten the reason for this institution, what it stands for: education. We as students make a great financial commitment to come to this institution. Some of us, it will be a debt for many years to obtain this college degree. We pay for this education, and it is a time we are treated as customers and not beggars. In these uncertain economic times, we need the tools to survive. We need a solid foundation that only education can bring. In short, we want our money's worth to obtain this. In the few months that I've worked with Dr. Guzman, I observed her characteristics that in my Lakota culture we call Winukchala, which means a woman of strength. Her values and ethics are beyond reproach. She is stern, as many people must be when they are given power to lead, but she manages to lead with kindness, an open door to those who have come to her with their concerns. The Santa Fe Community College needs to get back to the basics, and that requires change. President Ana Guzman represents that change. And it's a pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, and Madam President. Good evening. My name is Jerry Trujillo. I want to start out tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a fourth generation Santa Fean, so community means a lot to me, especially here in Santa Fe. Being vested here, growing up here, you know, having a lot of family and friends here. I too attended the Santa Fe Community College at Valdez Industrial Park. Got an Associate of Arts in Criminal Justice from the community college. So yeah, it's all your fault. I'm kind of like this. Yeah. But what I want to say is that, you know, that was the start of a great career. I joined law enforcement, and I could have served in different capacities. Had offers from the federal level, but I chose Santa Fe because it was close to my heart. It was my community, and this is where I wanted to be. I'm here at the Santa Fe Community College because I want to be here. I want to be here to serve our community. And what I want to say, I guess that's a little bit about me personally. Here professionally, I didn't know if I'd like teaching. I fell in love with it. I was faculty and had an opportunity here at the community college to become a chairperson, to invest in some leadership. I'm a retired captain from Santa Fe Police. I went through many mayors, several mayors. I went through several city councilors, and I also went through 9 chiefs of police, all of them leaders, all of them making changes. Some weren't so good, some changes. Some were very good, but there was always some kind of resistance. I can say, by the way, not once had I seen any leader cut administration and put the money back where it belongs, where it's needed. And you did that, you know, President Guzman, with the faculty, and that reflects back on our students and back to our community. So that was impressive to me. Sorry I say a lot because I'm thinking, still processing. My experience here at the college has been wonderful. Staff and faculty have been great. The students are just fantastic. They're energized, they're motivated, they want to succeed. And the environment, I can say, what a beautiful campus, what a great place to work. But I can say from my experience here and my 11 months with Dr. Guzman is that her direction has been clear. She says things and she does what she says she's going to do. And she is a real change leader. She comes in and she makes change. She's rolled up her sleeves. She's gotten her hands dirty. And that takes a lot of guts to do that, especially when some things may not be popular, but to do what's right for what we're here for, which is the students in the community. For those reasons, your direction is positive. It's student-centered, and for wanting to make Santa Fe Community College the best college in the nation, that's why it's a pleasure to serve under your leadership, Dr. Guzman. So thank you for that. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, members of the board, President, I'm relatively new. What could I possibly say that you haven't already heard? Isn't that amazing? To me, that's synergy. Synergy with a group of educated people surrounding themselves around the nucleus of this institution. That is the president. I've worked for 5 different presidents throughout the country. None of them manage the same. They bring change, lots of change. But change that is needed within the institution. Sometimes we can't see the change, and we don't know the change right offhand. But if you stay and listen to them, like I have with the president, that's a tough job. That really is. And I was nervous today because I'd heard that she was being evaluated, and you hear a lot of different things, but you made the right choice. You made the right choice today, and you made the right choice when you brought her here. She's important. And you knew that in your heart, and you knew that in your soul when you did bring her here, and you made the decision to bring her here. I can't say anything about leadership that you haven't already heard. Got well-educated people teaching leadership. Tells you about leadership, how difficult it is. How difficult it is to make decisions. But the decisions that are made are positive decisions. I hear a lot of positive things. I only have 3 minutes, and I'll make it quick, because I'm not the last one. I thought I was. But I'm happy to be here in Santa Fe. I'm happy to be working under her leadership. She brought me here as your Director of Facilities Management. There's really one tough job in the institution, and that's the president's job. And the other one, I feel, is running the facilities. I was going to say, it really is. But you know what amazes me? What amazes me is that the president here, she's all for the students, all for the faculty. But she just doesn't know academics. She knows business, she knows projects, she knows facilities, and she made it clear to me. But I said, wow, President, that's really smart. Because she does smart things, but it's clear. And I want to say thank you very much for supporting her. As you support her, you support the rest of the Santa Fe Community College and the community. And the people here that you're listening to, they're speaking from the heart. President, I'm happy to be here to support you.
I think that a lot of people who are not here with a different opinion might be afraid of losing their jobs if they were to express their thoughts. And but we support change when it's positive and it's going to benefit the students and teachers and everybody here in the community. I have 2 questions. You mentioned you were an advisor. Oh, cool. Well, that's great, because we don't want to lose any advisors. And also for the safety, for the security guard, do you have coworkers whose job position or job title is temporary? Yeah, I think there's some members or workers of the safety department, security guard, whose jobs title is temporary, and I think they should be able to have more job security if that's possible for your department. And really, I came to thank the board for hearing our concerns about implementing enduring policies and taking action in regards to the SFCC sustainability plan and the zero waste resolution that is supported by the American College and University's President's climate commitment. There was a temporary single-use plastic bottle ban trial over the summer, and for us that was a partial victory that the bookstore was not selling and producing so much waste, because this means that the institution will reduce its ecological carbon footprint. And also the fact that we don't come on Fridays is a huge improvement in the fact that it's less fossil fuel, and we like that. But there's some students that come from Albuquerque who take the train, and it would be great if the school had a shuttle that would help them get from the train station out there to on campus. I wanted to mention that. And so apparently some community members are discontent here about many things, but one of them was the temporary trial, because there was no alternative like cups by the water fountain or reusable containers for people to have access to free clean water here on campus. And I understand why they are now collecting a petition to dismantle the work that's been done in the past 4 semesters to implement this enduring policy. We would like support from the school to inform these people who oppose this why it is a social and environmental justice cause that the school stops selling these single-use waste like styrofoam and plastics. And so there are proposals out there for to be able to implement this policy forever, hopefully, and not just for this summer. And we would like to share these proposals. We have limited time, but I wanted to mention that the bottled water deception is as massive as the tobacco industry false advertisement of the 50s. And we need to realize this because they want to privatize our own municipal water resource. And students and staff and teachers here should have access to free water on campus. And this is very important, that we are not fed the chemicals that come with plastic bottles. So are we going to let our community and young Santa Fe students be ripped off with the privatization of our own municipal water resource? The student debt loan scheme is already ripping off young North America with high college cost and gilding and systematic predatory lending that helps fund enormous administrative salaries while the regular worker earns minimum wage. And okay, I just have a couple more things. Thank you. So let's please thank you for making rational decisions in issues like the ban on bottled water, which will lead us to zero waste. And thank you for listening to our teachers, because if they are well treated, we will be well treated. And overloaded and underpaid teachers doesn't work. And please raise the student workers' wage, which is $8. So if it could be raised to minimum wage, that would be great for the students that work here. And I mentioned the shuttle. That's important for ABQ students. And lastly, note that the Santa Fe City Council has already mentioned not only a plastic bag elimination, but they're talking about a plastic bottle ban. So if we do it here on campus first, it will lead the way to make us an example nationwide. So thanks.
Thank you. And now we'll be going into the Faculty Senate report.
Faculty Senate returned to campus within the past week or so and was able to meet at convocation. So it's a good, strong return to campus, and I want to acknowledge the recent hiring of additional full-time faculty and the benefits that this brings to our students and the students. Faculty also want to express appreciation for the recent raises which were distributed in August. This is a positive step forward. And then on a sobering note to that, returning to an HR document that was distributed recently, the MIPSIA premiums for the medical insurance will increase September 1st by 6.6% for employees. So there goes the rate. But we're glad that we're not losing more ground on that than again, is based on the monthly premium. Dental premiums will increase by 3% based on the monthly premium. There was an article in today's New York Times that places a 4% increase in medical coverage at the national level. So for some reason here we're over the national level. That may be because we're in a smaller pool, of participants for the insurance. But that article continues on to conjecture that the recent increases may be leveling off. And that, in a sense, captures the essence of this first meeting by Faculty Senate. Based on tonight's conversation, I would also like to take the opportunity to return to Faculty Senate's last communication with Dr. Guzman and the board on May 14th and 15th, which did receive acknowledgement from Dr. Guzman, that Faculty Senate still believes in AQUIP process and protocol and procedure as a way that we are achieving the ideals that are required for us from our accreditation process. And that takes a lot of things, and it gives us guidance in what to follow. And I'd like to read the preamble then to the Principles and Categories for Improving Academic Quality, the 2008 revision. Research and experience indicate that common principles, focus, involvement, leadership, learning, people, collaboration, agility, foresight, information, and integrity permeate colleges and universities that have achieved a systematic approach to continuous quality improvement. These qualities underlie all the academic quality improvement programs categories, activities, processes, and services, and they represent the values to which AQUIP itself aspires organizationally. This is what we need to aspire to. Whether we achieve it in our own lifetimes or not is a question, but we need to go after that. And then in that same communication, I would again like to make a statement in support of that we were requesting an AQUIP action project to address the relationship of adjunct faculty to the functioning of the college. And as suggested in your very positive, informative communication to us, start the conversation within the Academic Affairs Council. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Clark. Welcome back.
Yep, appreciate it.
Do we have a staff senate representative? All right, Bob.
We have two. Chairman Abeyta, Madam President, members of the board. Before we get to our minutes, I just wanted to let you know that after 3.5 years, this is my final time before you as the only co-chair of the Staff Senate. I'd like to say that I've been honored to represent staff over these past 3.5 years. And to be honest, in the last year, thanks to our council system that's being set up, I've had a chance to operate and work with a lot of faculty members, which I hadn't done in my previous 3 years in the college. And I have to say, you've heard tonight, we have a large amount of talent on this campus. We've got to unleash it. And so if I may, I want to thank you for your vote tonight, because I think we have a person that will unleash it. And I'm looking forward to, I'm an operations kind of guy, and it's improving while we speak, and it will. And so I thank you for that. And I also, it's not just because I work here, my son is actually going to start here in the fall. So I have more than just a job commitment to this process. I have my son coming here. So thank you. And with that, I'd like to introduce our new co-chair, Susan Lemke. Would you like to say anything? Oh.
Madam President, members of the board. I want to say, we'll let, because, this is Bob's. Sorry. So, everybody wants to tell me you're talking to the mic. Okay, so I'll let Bob do the wrap up on the Staff Senate, but I just want to say that I'm really honored to represent the staff in this role, and to represent the interests and views of the staff as a whole, which are very wide-ranging and diverse. I look forward to the opportunity to speak with you about matters of interest to the staff, and also to participate actively in the shared governance process, which I think is a sort of perhaps the most critical role of Staff Senate here at the college. So, thank you.
And just as you can see from your notes, we've had a lot of activity since we last met. So I'm just going to highlight some, and I'll take any questions from there. We had, obviously, an election. We are going to examine our staff Senate constitution and potentially amend it. We are setting up additional elections, and we already have some nominations for our regular elections in September. So that's some of the short cliff notes. The final item is the letter, which finally is getting to you, even though it's already been in the paper somehow. And I don't know whether you have any questions on it, when you read it in the paper or when you actually saw the real letter, but we'd be willing to answer any questions about that letter if you choose. So there was a lot of material in front of you. Hopefully you had a chance to all look at it, and we're here for any questions on any of it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes?
are you the chair?
Oh.
I'm just teasing.
Sorry.
We're talking about chair of the Senate, co-chair of the Senate. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate the letter. I think it was really well thought out and raises a lot of good points. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about some of these along the way. So thanks the staff Senate for bringing this to the college.
Anything else?
Yes, no?
Well, again, thank you.
Wait,
I've
I have-
enjoyed my 3.5 years.
I thought you were going to continue. You know, as the new chair and having been a staff member for over 20 years here at the college, I think it's really critical that some kind of system be set up or some kind of whatever it might be, because I don't know if things have changed, but back in the day, it was difficult to get away to go to all the staff Senate meetings, and sometimes, 8 people would show up and they're representing this amount, and so if there's a way to get input from all the staff members, because not all the staff has the whether it be the time or the whatever the schedule does not allow them, and having that be something, I think it would be great. So that's my suggestion as a former staff member.
Let me address that, Mr. Chair. I met with Bob and Susan, and one of the issues that they brought to me was that in some instances, staff was not getting to get their educational benefits, and they were not getting to go to the gym, the 90 minutes gift that the board gave us. And so I said to them that I was going to be writing a letter to supervisors to let them know that it's very important for them to work with staff so that, one, they can have leadership roles as serving in the staff senate, so that they're able to go to the staff senate meetings when they need to, so that they're able to be healthy and go to the gym, because that is a benefit that the board has given all staff, as well as work with the employees so that staff can continue to take courses so that we see all ships rise. And so I will be sending that, and I will CC the board.
That's wonderful. I think that's a really good thing, and my reaction to that is, yippee!
Thank you, and I think we couldn't agree with you more. In fact, at our staff senate meeting on the day of convocation, we were talking about issues that we wanted to focus on in staff senate. And one of them was the ability to participate, and it becomes even more critical that staff have the opportunity to be released from their office responsibilities because as we develop the council system.
Yep.
Because the staff really need to be participating in all of the council activities as well. The other thing I wanted to mention and is in relation to the fact that not everybody can make it to the meetings, one of the things that we have done in the last several votes that the staff has taken on issues, including my election and the letter that was presented to the board, is to offer the opportunity for proxy voting. So we had, for example, for the letter, there were 2 weeks during which individuals could vote by proxy anonymously And then we also had a vote at the meeting. So it ended up that although the meeting attendance has been much better, but nearly 120 people voted on that letter, and the vote was 74 to 44 to bring that letter forward to the president.
And my only comment as well is because we thought the importance of it was to get to everyone. Thanks to Steve Barella, we had the letter translated into Spanish. So we made sure that everyone in facilities got a chance to read the letter as well.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was there going to be a student government report there, Sean?
Yes.
Okay.
First off, thank you, Chair Beta, Dr. Guzman, and the board for having me sit on the council. I will do everything in my power to bring the vital information back to the SGA. I wanted to, let's see, the first thing, I wanted to say with the water bottle ban, the SGA supports Matt Sherman and Sage Bird. We're there to help you if you need anything, so let us know. The Fiesta Council will be coming next Wednesday from 10:30 to 12 in the campus center, so anyone that wants to meet them is welcome. The first SGA meeting also is the same day as they come, from 12 to 1. Let's see. Fall Fest is September 5th, 11 to 2 in the Santa Fe Community College courtyard. If anyone wants to volunteer, check down in student development and talk to Janet Berry. And we're also recruiting students for student government, senators, and new SGA vice president for the upcoming 2013-2014 year. And the final thing is, SGA, just like the staff senate, will also be revising their constitution and bringing it within the next month to the board for their approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, congratulations for being on board with us.
Thank you.
You didn't have a question? I thought your hand was up. Sorry. Okay. Now we'll be going into the approval of consent agenda. And we have Section A would be the minutes for the regular board meeting, June the 18th, and the special meeting from July 23rd. I'm assuming that we would vote to approve both because they're under the same. That's acceptable, right? Okay.
Everything in that.
Everything within that, the final reading approval also? Okay. All right. Okay, so do we have a motion?
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes. Thank you. And action on items removed from consent agenda for discussion? No, we went through that, right? All right. During our work session, we went through the financial report, and so I'm asking now for an approval of the financial report. And do we need a presentation on that? All right, we need a motion.
I move that we approve the financial report for May and June 2013.
Second.
Any discussion? We have a second. Any discussion on approval of the financial report? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, approval of the financial report passes. Now, the approval of the annual equipment inventory, Part 1 and Part 2, and that would be, we've already gone through that also, correct? We did not?
No, it's just the annual equipment inventory. Yeah, it's just the equipment inventory. It's back here.
Oh, I see. No, we didn't go through that.
PT1 and PT2?
And it's not in the packet.
It says part 1 and 2.
Yeah, but it's not on. We haven't seen that, so I suggest we either table it or.
All right, do we have any suggestions as to how,
Look at the E37.
We don't have it.
Oh, I have it here. Oh, you didn't get it in there?
E37?
E37 is the inventory.
Nobody else.
You have it?
You have it?
On the second, on the second, on the P2.
Part 2?
My part 2 isn't coming.
Got
Mine
it?
isn't either. Mine isn't either.
No, it's not coming in.
Yeah, it's probably too big to.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we table this action item to the next meeting.
right? We have a motion to table the approval of PT1 and Part 2 of the annual equipment inventory. Any discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, the motion passes, then it'll be tabled for the next meeting, correct? That's what you want? All right.
That's no problem.
Okay, and the faculty salary schedule, we've already also reviewed that. And do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the faculty salary schedule.
Do we have a second on that?
Second.
All right. Any discussion on approval of the faculty salary schedule? All right, those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it passes. I'm not as quick as Linda. It passes right away. So, yeesh. Maybe I'm too slow, I guess. And so we have it. The faculty salary schedule has passed. Carryover funds. And we've already discussed the carryover funds.
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. Move
Second.
approval.
Second.
Ay, ¿dónde? It says yes here. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's go to the strategic plan first. Okay, we've already reviewed the strategic plan, and do we have a motion to accept? Do we need to do it again?
No. I move
Remain
approval-
sitting.
I move approval of the.
Do we have a counselor in here for Yash? Oh, you already did a presentation. Thank you, and I think it was sufficient. Do I have a motion?
I move
Yes?
approval of the strategic plan.
Is that a second? Any discussion? All right, those in favor of the approval of the strategic plan?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passes. Thank you. And so, I think that means it was a great strategic plan.
That's a great.
All right, information items. So now do we move the carryover funds? Is that what's gonna be happening now? Right? And who's gonna be doing that?
They're written reports only.
Just an information? That was an information item. That was it then, right?
It's done.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's done.
Yes.
All right. And information items, purchases over 100,000, less than 300.
Well, that is written.
These are all written reports, so everybody's fine with the written reports. Okay, andale.
Well, I think we have an update. Don't we have an update from, on the community college logo? We haven't heard anything about that one.
Right down here. Update on Santa Fe Community College Foundation logo.
Yeah.
Okay, and who will be doing that?
No, it's just written.
No.
It's here in our packet.
Once again, written.
Is it written?
Yeah, it's in our packet.
I see.
Look.
I found it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right? Yeah. It is nice.
And that's the new name?
Santa Fe Community College Foundation.
Foundation logo. All right. So, going into tab G then, is that correct? Or do we need to go into any of the other information things? Matters relating to Santa Fe Community College policy. No policies were submitted for first reading. Board reports, discussion, other business. And
It's very late, and I'll just say that I attended the HED, the Higher Education Department, orientation for new trustees and new regents recently, and I have material that I had copied and distributed to the board. It's basically material on the legislative finance committee and how it works and its schedules. The changes in the funding formula, which I thought you might be interested in. Changes in financial aid, which I think you might be interested in if you don't know about them already. And then there's just important background material from national researchers and national groups about the sort of the current trends in climate in community colleges and in universities.
So what you'll be doing is you'll give it to Donna, and then
It's already done. They already have it. So it's done.
Thank you, Donna.
Yes,
Thank you, Carmen. I mean, Martha. Sorry. Maybe it is too late, no?
Is it here?
Yeah.
Oh, this is it?
All right.
I don't need two, so you can have.
Any updates on, do we need to do information on updates on the ACC Congress? We'll be going to that,
We'll be attending it in October.
right? That'll be the first week of October after our September 17th board meeting.
So who's going to that?
So, Kathy and Linda are not able to go? Nobody else here? Sorry, guys. You know, I have found those conferences to be really, not just information-wise, but making connections, for me, with other board members that are like us, that are from all over the United States, and I think it's really powerful. Announcement of our next board meeting, unless there's other, our next board meeting is Tuesday, September 17th. No reading material. And are we going into closed session? Yes. I need a motion to go into closed session. Second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Let's just keep the, it's a late thing in our mind.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and anyone opposed? All right, thank you.